If you're like a lot of other millennials in the world, you're probably feeling really stuck in this interview process. And that's okay, because through these 3 tips, I'm gonna tell you how you can get an interview from that job that you're barking at. This will get you a response super fast. It has worked for me and it has worked for all of my friends. So keep on watching, and at the end of the video, you should know how to get the job that you want. Okay, so in the first step, basically all you want to do is solve. So what I mean by that is go ahead and write down every type of business that you've worked with in the field that you're going into. So I'm going to use sales as an example because that's the field that I was in. So let's say that you're looking to be a pharmaceutical sales rep. Then what you want to do is basically write down every single sales job that you've done leading up to that point. And you want to write down the type of sales that you've done for that role. And I'm going to get into this more down in the line, but the thing is you don't want to write everything that you've ever done until this date. You want to think about 2 things. When you're applying to a job, it's basically 1, the employer has a problem. 2, you are their solution if they hire you. And then part 3 would be the job offer. So what we want to do in the first part is just focus on solving that problem for this employer and basically writing down everything that you've done that's related to this role. And how I do this is sometimes I'll go ahead and open up some specific job applications, and they might write some certain adjectives like, we're looking for someone who has a hustle mentality, who has an entrepreneur spirit. You want to make sure that you have key talking points of things that you've done that before. So that's the first. Okay, step 2, you guys. Now we're gonna write down every accomplishment you've ever had in this role. So I like to call this the
Lady D method.
So what that means is it's basically you like flexing. You're flaunting everything that you've ever done for this role. So some examples can be, I went to President's Club 4 years in a row, and you would write down every year that you went to President's Club. Another thing that you can do is you can write down if you were number 1 in your sales floor in month March 2018. I'm just making this up. Another thing that you can do is you can write down how you've proven results for your team month over month. So recruiters love seeing things on your resume that show things like numbers. So you want to monetize your accomplishments. A common mistake that people make in their resume is they write down the responsibilities. And you don't want to do that, because if you're applying to this role, then the recruiter and the employer is assuming that you've already had skills or experience working in that type of role. But they want to understand why you're important and what your value is compared to the other 100 applicants that already sent their application today. So when you're writing down every bullet point underneath your job description, make sure you start it off with a number. So an example can be 125% of my quota year over year from 2018 to 2019. That's a great way to describe how you've proven to be successful above your peers. It's that you hit quota, but you also went above and beyond for that. So make sure you're monetizing everything underneath below. Make sure you're putting your trophies out there and you're basically flexing in this step. Okay, step 3. This is the step where I talk about quality over quantity. So a lot of people, when they're new in their careers, they're going to want to put every role that they've ever done before on that piece of paper. Don't do that. I'm going to repeat that again.
Do not do that.
So what I mean by that is, let's say before you had your account executive role, again, going back to the sales analogy, let's say you did a role that has nothing to do with it, maybe like nannying, then you probably shouldn't put that on there. Or let's say if you're trying to move into project management, and all of your roles before that were kind of all over the place. You did a social media managing job, you did a community volunteering job, you did a nonprofit job that I don't even know what you really did there. You just put it on there. You don't want to put filler. You, again, want to put value. It's really annoying when recruiters are going through your application, and I know this because I was a hiring manager at one point in one of the roles that I was in. We don't have a lot of time. We're just going through the lever system, and we only have a few seconds to see who's going to really stand out. So if your resume isn't branded to this role, then we're more likely to want to scroll over. So even if you only have 3 roles that you've done that are related to that job, that's still way better than putting like 6 jobs that have nothing to do with this at all. If you want a video that talks more about building a resume for a career transition out of your current field, then go ahead and comment below career change, so I'll know to make sure to make a video about that. So there you have it, my top 3 tips on how to build a great resume so you're getting hit up by all those recruiters and you're getting interviews. Comment below any accomplishments that you've had that you're super proud of. I'd love to build a community over here and hear some of your wins. And also remember, if you aren't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe below, and then you also hit the bell, because in my next episode I'm going to be talking about how to use LinkedIn to get the job that you want, and also to use LinkedIn to batch a bunch of interviews so you can start getting the ball rolling.